Tenancy by the entirety is A. Equal or unequal undivided ownership between two or more people. B. Ownership which requires the four units: interest, possession, time, and title. C. Ownership that's available only to married couples. Tenancy by the entirety means that property may not be sold without the agreement of both parties. Exclusive agency listing is when A. The agent gets paid no matter who sells the property, regardless of whether it's the agent or the seller. B. Agents get paid only if they sell the property. No fee is earned if the owner alone sells the property. You are trying to price a property. 5 years ago it was sold for $145,000, but property value in this particular neighborhood has decreased by an average of 5% since then. What is the rough value of this property? A. $72,500. B. $130,000. C. $137,750. The total commission paid by the brokerage firm was $23,000. The firm was paid 6% on the first $200,000, 4% on the next $200,000 and 2% on the remainder. What was the sale price of the property? A. $500,000. B. $550,000. A mother is deeding her mortgage-free house to her son. Is the deed required to show good consideration to be valid in the case? A. Yes, because all deeds must show good consideration to be valid. B. Yes, unless she is deeding it to him in her will. A lot measuring 420 feet by 670 feet sold for $633,150. What was the cost per square foot? A. $1.50. B. $1.75. C. $2. D. $2.25. A buyer purchases a home for $225,000. They have acquired a 30-year loan at 6.5% with 20% down. How much interest will the buyers pay over the life of the loan? A. $134,925.10. B. $186,475.50. C. $229,580.08. A person died testifying. After an extensive search, no additional heirs were found. The person's real property would transfer by A. Descent and distribution. B. Escheat to the state. C. Devise. D. Demise. The zoning laws in your town require an apartment building to provide 2.5 parking spaces for every 1,000 square feet of inhabited space. A local apartment building has 40,000 square feet of apartments. How many parking spaces should it have? A. 100. B. 80. The presence of lead paint in a home must only be disclosed if the home is being purchased using an FHA loan. A. True. B. False. How much time must the parties to a real estate closing be given to review the HUD statement? A. 3 hours. B. 12 hours. C. 24 hours. D. 3 days. Your client buys a house for $195,000. The contract calls for you to equally share a 6% commission with the seller's broker. What is your portion of the commission? A. $4,750. B. $5,850. C. $6,200. D. $11,700. You referred a client to a lender. In return, they sent you a note with a $50 gift card to a local restaurant. Which law makes this kickback illegal? A. ECOA. B. Fair Housing Act of 1968. C. CRA. D. RESPA. Adverse possession is A. The sudden loss of land by an act of nature like a landslide. B. When someone uses your property for a period of time and you lose the property or have your rights to the property restricted. Fiduciary duties of a real estate agent include A. Confidentiality. B. Accounting. C. Loyalty. D. All of the above. When Leonard bought his property, he had a 20% down payment and secured a 30-year loan at 7% interest. If his first month's interest was $1,120, how much did he pay for the property? A. $190,000. B. $210,000. C. $240,000. Amy, Betty, and Charlie are siblings and own a property as joint tenants. Charlie decides to sell his share to Larry for a reduced amount. Upon closing, Larry is A. Tenant in common with Amy and Betty. B. Tenant by the entirety with Amy and Betty. C. Joint tenant with Amy and Betty. Which of the following is an appropriate action for an intermediary? A. To represent the buyer. B. To represent the seller. C. To appoint associated licensees to work with the parties. D. All of the above. The primary objectives of a property manager are A. Generate the highest possible net income over the economic life of the property. B. Generate the highest possible gross income over the economic life of the property. C, A, and C. The type of manager most likely to be licensed as a real estate broker is the A. Property manager. B. Building manager. C. Resident manager. D. Any of the above. If the landlord and the tenant do not specify the rental period, the manner in which the rent is paid creates this type of occupancy. A. Tenancy for years. B. Estate from year to year. C. Tenancy at will. Which form of ownership involves a proprietary lease? A. Condominium. B. Cooperative. C. Timeshare. D. Homeowners association. Which is the least curable form of obsolescence? A. Economic obsolescence. B. Functional obsolescence. C. Physical deterioration. D. Superadequacy. A percentage lease is most commonly used in A. Office buildings. B. Manufacturing. C. Shopping centers. D. Warehousing. If the landlord fails to repair a broken furnace in the middle of January and the property is located in Chicago, it may be considered A. Actual eviction. B. Constructive eviction. C. Partial eviction. D. Retaliatory eviction. In a landlord-tenant relationship, the landlord is said to hold A. Reversion. B. Demise. C. Leasehold. D. Exclusive right to sell. A legal description of real property. A. Does not aid an untrained person in finding the land. B. Must be contained in the deed. C. Enables a surveyor to locate the exact boundaries of the property. D. All of the above. Which legal form of ownership involves the separation of property into individual ownership elements, common ownership elements and limited ownership elements? A. Cooperative. B. Timeshare. C. Homeowners association. D. Condominium. If the tenant were to die during the lease period, which type of leasehold would pass to the tenant's estate? A. Estate for years. B. Tenancy from year to year. C. A and B. How many acres are in a lot described as E12 of NW14 of SE14? A. 640. B. 320. C. 20. The security deposit law is designed to protect which party? A. The landlord. B. The tenant. C. The bailiff. D. The property manager. A contract is an exchange of promises that courts will enforce to an offer made by one party that was accepted by another. A. I. B. 2. C. 1 and 2. D. Neither. The type of tenancy that has a beginning and ending date is the A. Estate for years. B. Estate from year to year. C. Estate at will. D. Life estate. Ownership, I, is tangible 2. Is intangible 3. May be divided into different rights owned by different people. 4 is not divisible. A, I and 3. B, 2 and 4. C, I and 4. D, 2 and 3. To form a contract, there must be an offer and an acceptance. This is called A, mutual assent. B, consideration. C, none of the above. D, legal capacity. When the rent payment is a fixed amount for the term of the lease is called A, gross lease. B, net lease. C, percentage lease. D, triple net lease. Which category is exempt from licensing when performing real estate services? A, funeral directors. B, CPAs acting within the scope of their duties. C, partners receiving more than their pro rata share of profits for selling services. In order to be a licensee member of the Florida Real Estate Commission, an individual must have been licensed a minimum of A, 1 year. B, 2 years. C, 4 years. D, 5 years. Possession of a current and valid license will be considered by a court. A, to have no effect. B, as undeniable proof that the holder of that license may perform the services of real estate. C, as sufficient evidence to prove the license status unless stronger evidence to the contrary is introduced. A licensee who has passed the broker's state examination but desires to continue to operate under an owner-employer will be registered as A, broker. B, sales associate. C, broker associate. D, realtor associate. Broker Jackie decides to move her branch office from Fort Walton to Panama City. The proper procedure is for Jackie to A, report the move to the Board of Realtors. B, request that the division transfer the license to the new location. C, cancel the existing branch license and submit the request and a new fee for the Panama City branch office. Broker Bill has a listing contract to sell Janet's condominium. A prospective buyer offers to pay $60,000 but refuses to give a binder deposit with the contract. Broker Bill should A, refuse to submit the offer until accompanied by valuable consideration. B, present the offer and suggest that the owner counteroffer for a binder. Licensure may be suspended for what maximum period of time? A, 1 year. B, 2 years. C, years. D, 10 years. A real estate sales associate is a person who A, at times may perform any of the services ordinarily performed by a broker. B, may perform some of the services ordinarily performed by a broker. C, may perform any of the services ordinarily performed by a broker provided that the service is under the supervision of the employing broker. Which is not correct? A. A licensee may be paid a commission only by his employer. B. A licensee may not work for more than one employer. C. A real estate licensee may not appraise a single-family residence unless she has been licensed as a state-licensed or certified appraiser. The FREC is composed of A. 4 brokers and 3 lay members. B. 5 brokers and 2 lay members. C. 3 brokers, 2 brokers or sales associates, and 2 lay members. D. 7 members. A sales associate chooses not to renew his license at the appropriate time. His license will be A. Involuntary inactive. B. Cancelled. C. Voluntary inactive. D. Suspended.